Welcome, my friends, to the latest developments in the war between Russia and Ukraine. Until the evening of December 29, the Russian army managed to advance on the Zaporizhzhia front, Dnipro, Myrnohrad, Lyman, and controls a new town. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces had also advanced in different directions in Kharkiv and launched some operations towards Siversk. And of course, please don't follow the video to the end, don't miss any information. And now, let's start with the Myrnohrad front in Donetsk region. Russian forces managed to establish full control over the town of Novoshakove. Here, Russian units advanced and took control of this area in pink, as you can see. It extends 1.3 kilometers deep and 100 of meters wide. Also, as you can see, Russian forces are currently working on two things. The first thing is to control this area here. And the second thing is to head towards Vilnius, where clashes are taking place with Ukrainian forces in these directions. The different units here from the 80th and the 25th Assault Battalion are trying to defend. Russian units are trying to expand in this area as much as possible. The possibility after it had only previously controlled on Myrnohrad and Donetsk, therefore it appears there was a transfer of forces from there to here. And in addition to this front, to reinforce operations towards the city of Dnipro. As for the other operations, the Russian forces in the Dnipro region continue to advance towards Novoshakove, but this time from a different direction. The first time the operations were directed towards the town directly. Russian forces still maintain control within the town. Today, Russian forces are advancing in this area to the western side of the river located here, control this area in pink. This area is 1.5 kilometers deep and more extensive, and you can say 2.5 kilometers wide. Operations are continuing in this direction, and the objectives seems to be putting more pressure on Ukrainian forces to disperse their troops. All of this comes after the Russian forces has regained control of an important part of the town of Ivanivka, towards which the Ukrainians launched an attack simultaneously before. Therefore, we must wait to see if the Russian forces, are they preparing for something here or are trying to retrieve something. They just lost it. So, as for the operations taking place towards Zaporizhzhia, the Russian forces, as you can see, had advanced in Primorske and are now fighting on the battle in the northern half of this town. It extends on several kilometers. As you can see, Russian advance have led to control of this region. As you can see, here in pink, you can see the deep and wide. Also, it is Primorske, it's a large town, but Ukrainian forces are able to hold it for a long time. It had it, but at the same time, it needed time to control a part of it because it is very large. The Ukrainians were taking Primorske and Siversk as a line of defense. Defensively, this area is important. As those who don't know can see it divided. Many branches of the river, as you can see, are parts of this region. For example, resemble the banks of the river. Then in this area, the river subsides. Then in this area, on the banks of the river. Therefore, moving troops and supplies was very important. It's extremely difficult for the Russian forces, but what is happening currently, the Russian army is advancing and has begun to advance in this battle toward the northern half, in parallel with operations there. So he is trying to seek to secure the surrounding area as well, not only the town. And Ukrainian forces that are deployed here are trying to defend with some fighters from Belarus. Here, the area has been dominated by the color pink. As you can see, the Russian advance, they control of it. Operations are ongoing to secure progress along the main road. But on one side, so far, the Ukrainian forces deployed in the region are trying to defend themselves and prevent the Russian army from entering the area, from progressing, as you can see, from the other to the other side of the road. In addition, despite all this, there is still Ukrainian fabrication in the direction of Stepnohirsk. Russian forces are targeting Ukrainian forces. So, as for cautions in towards Pavlivka and surrounding area, still the same. Ukrainian are defending and Russian are attacking. Some counterattacks were launched, but they were unsuccessful. As for the eastern part of here, as you can see, there was a Ukrainian fabrication. Ukrainian forces were attempting to launch an offensive from this area. Apparently, towards Rivnopilia are the defensive line of the forces. The Russian team was not ready and present at all points, but they tried to defend as they can, and at the end of this fight they get some prisoners from the Ukrainian army. Ukrainian tried to attempt a launch offensive here, offense apparently towards, as we said, Rivnopilia, but till the end this what happening, prisoners and some of them retreated. As for what happened towards Siversk and whom it was directed, it is as follows. The Russian army managed to take control of most of the town of Dnipro. As you can see, my dear friends, I want to clarify two things simply for you. Dnipro is divided into this large part and into this small part. The Russian army has gained control over the entire area here, the elder one, and this is administratively subordinate to this. Currently, Russian forces control the main central town here. The entire area is under control of Russian army. Advance, as you can see, as you can see, Russian forces, by controlling this large part of Dnipro, not pleased that the road lines that they were dominated by Russian drones. I drew it for you in red. The Russian army can now head towards this village, and also in another towards the village. He can also obtain several side to get to other ways to progress further and take an important supply point in this area. The presence of Russian army in this region means it helped establishing a supply point to launch operation toward different area in this sector. As for Siversk, the location here is towards Slovyansk. Ukrainian forces launched a counterattack towards Vatpokevske. Ukrainian forces pressed intensely until they were able to control this area with the highlighted blue, advanced 2 kilometers deep and 1 kilometer wide. Ukrainian forces have penetrated further inland here, but the Russian army repelled them, targeted them, and the rest remained. This area is blue under the control of Ukrainian forces. The battles are raging intensely. There are also attempts to extract the Russians from Ryzenkivka and their removal from this area. The story of the Ukrainian move at that moment could be that it seems they are trying to do something. Let's wait and see if they will be further steps to keep the Russian army at bay about the road towards here. So let's wait and see if there will be a major attack or it's just a specific attack, no more than that. Also, for the north, Ukrainian forces were in Kharkiv direction, had regained control of the town of Novoplatonivka after battles with Russian forces, and they has been positioned apparently. As you can see, Russian forces are in the surrounding area and imposing something. The Ukrainians have taken control of this entire area, shown in blue. As you can see, there is an area 1.6 kilometer deep and extending 2.25 kilometers on a large scale battle. The fighting continues without also, let's don't forget the battles toward Yokoslivka. Thanks for your time and goodbye.